Right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the session. Could somebody please confirm to me you can see my screen and hear me well? I need 2 to 3 confirmations, please. Brilliant. Thank you. Right. Perfect. Right. So June has done whatever we needed to do for the market. Now we are heading for July. July is full of opportunities. Shortly, we'll touch base on all the opportunities that July is going to bring it to us. I'm going to touch base on a few geopolitics as well, which could impact in the month of July. Also, we'll be talking about seasonality today. This is going to be an interesting week since we have some European elections this week, whether it's a French election or whether it's a UK parliamentarian election. So, and also this week we'll be expecting NFP as well. So again, you can expect a decent movement in the market this week. So please make sure you stick to the trades of the week that I'll give it to you shortly after the session, because again, if you stick to them, you will be able to make money. There's no question. Okay. As long as you know how to trade them. That's the main thing. And secondly, for the trade of the month, we usually don't do that, but this is the month where I need to do this one. I'm pretty much going to give you a signal, where to put your stop loss, what should be your target for the trade of the month, for the month of July. Because I don't want you to lose money. At the same time, I want you to know exactly where you need to be entering and exactly where you need to be exiting the trade if market does not do what we are expecting it to do. At the same time, where you should be taking some profits as well. Okay, so let's stick to the targets. I want all of you to be charged, because from now onwards, for the month of July onwards, market is going to settle down. Market is going to give us a lot of opportunities. All what we need to do is just grab them. Okay, and again, we will help you all along how to grab them and how to take every opportunity possible. Okay, right. So firstly, as usual, we just go back to what we have said and what market has done, whether we were right, whether we were wrong, where we went wrong, where we went right, all of it. We will discuss now and see what market has done for the month of June, pretty much for the last week of June as well. Now, before I head on to this one, I wanted to ask your opinion on that. So last week was the first week where we have actually used our new, pattern for the Forex, commodities, indices, cryptos, and stocks. How did you find it? Did you like it? Did you don't like it? Is it something that is helping you? Is it something that is not helping you? I'd like to have some sort of like 2 to 3 people, perhaps 5, 6 people, if possible, letting me know your thoughts. What do you think about it? Brilliant. So far, I like it. I'm good with it. Fantastic. Anybody else? Good. Fantastic. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Maita. Thank you, Bill. Thanks, them, all of it. Brilliant. So it seems like it is making sense, and it is actually working for all of you, actually. So that is the whole idea for us to actually do that, even though it is taking some more time for us to actually go through all of these, markets separately. But as long as it is helping you, that's all it matters. Okay. Fantastic. Now, Kunal, I understand that I like the order, but don't like that we lose some Forex pairs now. The loss of few pairs that you're mentioning, indeed, we are not adding that onto this pair. Other pair, list, but we can always look at them in the requested lists here. So again, you won't be losing out on anything. It probably would be 2 to 3 more. That's all. But yeah, at least you have sort of, one go, you are going through all the Forex pairs. That gives you some sort of an idea what you're expecting in terms of the Forex market. Okay. Right. As I've said, thank you very much for your feedback. I do appreciate that, you guys are actually taking your time to write that message, so at least we know what's really happening and what's working for you. Now, anything that is not added onto these ones, you're more than welcome to ask me to add it onto this list here. Okay. That is why it's called, it's called a requested list plus stocks. Okay. So again, what I would be doing is I probably would be shuffling this list going forward. So at least you would have, and again, if many of you are actually, asking me to add 1 pair or 2 pairs into this list, I'm happy to do that. Again, At the end of the day, it's your session, and if something is helping you, why not? Okay. Right, let's let's hang on to the comments for now, and let's go into what we have said last week and what market has done. But before going into that one, I want all of you who are actually joining these sessions or who are following us on YouTube or all the social media platforms, please do make sure you follow us on the Telegram as well, because we are posting a lot of important stuff for you. Okay. Like for instance, for this one, I want you all to actually take some time. I'm not going to spend too much time reading it, but I just want you to focus on these highlighted bits. And I want you to make sure that you understand that bit, because remember, it is golden words. You won't realize that now. You would realize that in about next 4 to 5 years time, because that's when these words are going to become reality for you. It requires a complete mental shift to become a profitable trader. Okay. And that's why we have highlighted these ones for you, that you cannot make money, literally cannot make money without a good community, without a good trading coaches, without a like-minded community that can help you build up when you're emotionally weak. Okay. And that's why it's a combination of everything. Today, I'm going to explain that to you a little bit more about how we are actually looking at geopolitics, combining that with the seasonality, and then topping it up with the structures. When everything aligns, that becomes the trade that we trade. Okay. And again, if you want to do that, this is how you do it. Just be with the like-minded people, be with the good community. That's it. Okay. Now, heading back to the trades of the week that we have said last week, we were expecting euro yen to go break the top. As you can see here, this was the trade. We expected market to come below, probably very close below 170, and then push right back up towards 172. Pretty much breaking the top. Let's see what market has done here. Market has actually pretty much done the exact same thing. As you can see here, that was the arrow. It went very, very close to 170, went right back up. Even if you haven't taken this trade on the smaller time frame, you should have kept this trade here. It was a clear buy setup towards that zone. Okay. And on Wednesday, I endorsed it back again, saying that please stick to the trades of the week. It is heading to test this top here. And the market did do that, as you can see here. Shortly, we'll touch base. What's next for this one? Again, if you have traded this one, you must have made money. There's no question. Market has given you a minimum 150 pips in this move to the upside. Okay. Second trade that we have given was the XPT. Again, that has also reached the target last week. We expected a pullback and then push right back up towards 20 plus zone. And the market has pretty much done that. XPT, that was the trade. Again, market has given you this as being expanding flat, push right back into this zone here, as you can see, and then give your reaction from that box. Okay. What's next? We'll explain that to you shortly on that. Now, again, because this is a next month starting, so I wanted to touch base on this chart as well, Euro New Zealand chart. As you remember, we were at 1644. We expected market to tap below this level here, 176, push right back up into 177 zone, and then that would be the trade finishing for us. Market has given us this pretty much within the next 6 to 7 days, when I posted this chart here. So again, if we go and add this Euro New Zealand, let's see what market has done. This is the trade. As you can see here, market has actually gone down, pushed this, went back up, came back down, tested the bottom again once more, and then pushed right back up above 177. The target was slightly below this one, above this one here. But again, it's the 20, 30 pips. Market has actually given you 200 pips before anyway. So it's not just one move, two moves actually. And then you see there, market is actually ending the month exactly at that level, okay, where you must have actually started the month. So this is why you see sometimes, even if when I'm giving you a trade of the week or the month, I'm already having that alternative scenario in mind. If let's say you go against it, or the market goes against you, you will still have a way out. Okay, because I understand that some of you might not understand our concept. We always emphasize on actually learning first and then trading, because again, once you learn it, the trading becomes very, very easy. Okay. And that's why it's critical for you to actually learn it before you actually start trading, because once you do that, you're going to leave the legacy for your next generation. Otherwise, you will keep on guessing and then keep on giving to the market. That's not really worth your time and money. Believe me on that. Okay. So might as well learn. And then after that, start making money from this one, which you can actually rely on. Because if you make money just randomly once in a while, then you cannot rely on that income. Okay. But if you want to make this as your side income or your main income, then you need to make sure you earn the knowledge first before you earn the money. Okay. Right. That was pretty much the recap of what we have said last week and what market has done. Now, let's get back to this week, what we have for this week. But before we head over to this week, I wanted to start with the seasonality for the month of July. For the month of July, we are expecting majors to push up, which means we are expecting bullish majors and bearish dollar. Okay. It aligns with all the geopolitics. It aligns with all the structures as well. Shortly, I'll explain that to you in the structure as well. But let me just focus on the fundamentals and geopolitics now for you. Indices, we are expecting them to slowly crawl to the upside, and then commodities at the same time, we are expecting them to go to the upside. Okay. So again, seasonality wise, dollar down, everything else up this month. Okay. July has been like that in terms of seasonality. Now, in this week, as I've mentioned, we are expecting a British Parliament election, and also today onwards, we are expecting French Parliament elections as well. Both of these will have a high volatility in the market for these particular currencies. Now, if the existing government stays, you would expect the pound and the euro to actually get a bit stronger or stay the same. But if the government will change or we have a hung parliament, then you would expect the weakness short term. Okay. Because again, the trending of the structure into the long-term picture does not align with the big weakness into these economies at the moment. Okay. Now, on the second, part, the geopolitical part, we are still having, Israel and Hezbollah situation. Again, gold seasonality is upside. With that, geopolitics are actually supporting that seasonality. And then the most importantly, I've mentioned it to you, I think 2 weeks ago or the last week, I can't remember exactly, about the petrodollar speculation. Remember, Saudi Arabia has also filed for the request to join BRICS. Now, it's not just something that is out of random. Again, why I'm using the word speculation at the moment, because it's not done yet. It's not confirmed yet. It probably would be happening, but at the moment, because we don't have any alternative currency to the reserve currency as being dollar, that's why it's been in preparation at the moment. And what I'm really looking at in terms of the world's, paradigm shifts that are happening around the world, I want all of you to actually just go and have a look at it after I've actually, given you this information, that you will see all the central banks are buying gold at the moment. 2024, if you're looking to sell gold, trust me, it will not go. It will cut your hands and then keep pushing to the upside, because 2024 is the year where gold is going to keep pushing to the upside due to this geopolitical situation that we are in. Plus, as I've mentioned, all the major central banks, they are buying gold crazily. Also, some of the major currencies like countries like India, they are bringing their gold back from all the different parts of the world. Why do you think it's happening? Why every central bank is buying gold, and why every single and most of these countries who are actually saving their gold reserves into the other currencies, why they're actually retrieving that gold from them and putting in their country? Because they know that something is coming that will be backed by gold, a new currency in the world that will be backed by gold, that would replace dollar eventually. And at that point, those countries who will have more reserves of gold will have better chances to actually have much more veto power into this, new community that they're going to make. Okay. That is why we need to really follow these people. We need to see that what they're really doing, especially as of now, 59 countries on top of the 10 countries that are already part of BRICS have actually requested to join BRICS. That includes almost all the first world countries. Why do you think this is? Because everyone is actually understanding what's really happening. And also, with the dollar being weak, dollar having actually all the debt accumulated at the moment and brushing it under the carpet, with this, also being, the last debate between the President Biden and also between the Trump, you must have already seen that there's nothing really, holding, dollar at the moment. It's all in the talks. And it's as soon as you'd see the petrodollar goes away, that weapon goes away, from dollar. And that's pretty much what's basically going to weaken the dollar. Okay. So I'm saying to you this is for the long-term purpose. I'm not saying that you need to just go and, start selling your dollar. It doesn't work like that. Okay. But what I'm trying to tell you is try to plan it for the next 2 to 3 years. In the next 5 years, you're going to see these paradigm shifts are happening very, very quickly. Okay. So if you have any reserves that are just staying in dollar, you need to diversify. Okay. Because if you're listening to me, you might not be able to actually have a chance later on, because they might actually block people selling the dollar. But what I'm trying to tell you here is you need to plan now. If you don't plan now, you will actually end up regretting later. Diversify. It's the logical, and the wise choice at the moment. That also impacts what is the structure telling us in terms of dollar, okay? And why gold is being bought by all the major currencies in the countries in the world, okay? So keep that in your mind, and also do some research on why gold kept on pushing to the upside, regardless of whether there is a war. I'm telling you, even today, if the war goes away, firstly, they won't let it go away, because remember, they have to keep buying gold to make sort of a shield in front of that, why this is going up. But behind that, there is a reason, because all the central banks are buying them crazily at the moment, okay? And retrieving their gold reserves from every part of the world that they have kept. For instance, I've said to you about 3 weeks ago that Indian government has requested the British government to actually send all the golds, gold reserves that they are holding, from India. So again, that's happening. You're seeing it behind the picture. All what you need to do is just connect those dots, and then it will start to make sense. Okay. That is the geopolitical part. Let's have a look at what we have for the structures. But before we actually head over to the structure, let me just quickly read your messages before it gets too late, because again, it probably would be able to meddle with the rest. Cow, silver bullish in July. Indeed, it will be. Jason, Steve, Azin, Home, Seng, Quinton, Jocelyn, Richard, Seng, Sokmono, all of you, thank you very much for confirming the AV. Christopher, and MacBird as well. Thank you. Michael Haiti, the changes implemented last week was not beneficial for me. I was waiting for an update on the Euro GBP and Aussie CAD last week, and it was not covered. Later, somebody requested for the Aussie CAD, but Euro GBP was not covered at all. So my humble request is to cover all the made Forex pairs as it was done before, instead of us requesting for the missing pairs, because most of us are watching the recorded session instead of live session. So it is not possible for us to request the missing pairs. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for your detailed, comment. Indeed, I will try and add them all, after today's session. But today we'll try and touch base on all of them anyway. Okay. I like it. Brilliant. Okay. Where did we stop? Yeah. It is fine, T, but I would like to see all the currencies like before. It is, if possible. I mean, the format is 100% good. Fantastic. So it seems like you guys want all the pairs to be added into this other Forex pair. We can do that. Again, like I said to you, we'll probably add them, after today's session. So next time, on Wednesday's update, you should be able to see all of them. Okay. Charts in TradingView by different providers look slightly different. Kindly advise. Herbert, that's why what I've done is I've actually used single broker chart, FXCM, okay, just for the consistency. So if you're actually looking at something that, for instance, you wanted to, look at most of the majors, go for one broker, whether it's, OANDA, FXCM, or whatever the brokers they are available here. As you can see here, all of these, whichever you wanted to choose all of them for one, broker, rather than actually choosing one for FXCM and one for OANDA, because then you might actually have some fluctuation. It probably would be because of the timings as well. Some brokers, they have a timing starting from 12, some starting from 10. So that's why you would probably have some sort of a slight changes in the candles. Tomo will add pound hours as well. It begins with the Forex majors first, then other Forex pairs, and then all commodities and indices, stocks and others. That's correct. I thought, as it seems, gold is taking a central point, so good price should fly high. And for that to happen, should not there be a big fall in gold? It will eventually happen. That is correct, which will make people sell their gold and they will be liquidated to take the high price. One will be that possibility. The second possibility would be you would expect them to go to the upside. Like, for instance, at the moment, yen pairs pretty much in the last 2 weeks. Those people who have been selling them thinking that is the higher high, everybody must have taken out, because that's what market makers usually do. They want you, one, either drop the market to lure you into the sells, or they wanted to actually keep pushing the market so you think now is the time that it's going to go to the downside. And as soon as you bring in the sells, they will keep pushing to the higher and higher, and then you keep on. If you are not really a trader and you are new into this market, you would actually thinking, you would be thinking this is the higher level and market has never gone to this level, so I'd rather just sell it. So for instance, this gold, look at what happened here. If you're thinking that the 2000, let's go to the monthly chart actually. Look at this. If at this point in time you have thought that the market has already taken the top here and it should not be taking the top once more, and at this point in time, if you have sold it, imagine you would be holding 300 points against the trend, okay? And if the rally goes up from here, you know the outcome to that, okay? So that could be another reason as well. Quentin, general question for later: how do we change our trading accounts long term? Most of us use a dollar account as a basis for trading, thus our profit are in dollar and not so quick or easy to get these dollars out. Quentin, good question. That's why I did say that to you. This is not going to be like tomorrow or day after tomorrow or in the next month or next year even. It is going to be something that you need to plan in advance, which means you have few months to few years to actually plan that. But trading this one in dollar will not be a massive issue for you. What you need to be doing is, perhaps when you're in the trade, when you see this is changing, you close all your trade, you withdraw your money, you convert that, and then you basically open another account into a different currency. That will be easier. I'm referring to those people who have been saving their money all their life in USD. Now is the time to diversify. Okay, that's what I meant. Sorry for being late. No worries, Cheryl. Thank you. By the way, I hope Alan is okay. He's okay. He's recovering. He's just taking a little bit more time to recover. But again, he will be back very soon. Thank you. Helps to plan a bit. Brilliant. Right. These are pretty much most of the questions answered. Let's leave the rest of the questions for later. And let's get back to the fundamentals and see what we have for this week. Now, again, as I've mentioned, we are expecting French parliamentary elections this week. It's starting from tonight. Again, manufacturing PMI as well, we have already received. And again, they were expecting the forecast 49.5, which is what we have already received today. Now, in terms of Monday, we are expecting most of these German CPI and ISM manufacturing PMI, both of these numbers. They're expecting it to be one higher and one lower. So again, euro could be stronger and dollar could be weaker starting from this week. Tuesday, we are expecting again core CPI for the euro, which again, they're expecting it to go to the downside. So if they are expecting the KPIs to actually perform this way, they're expecting slight weakness. And again, once we go to the chart, I'll explain that to you if you were to trade these ones, how to trade them. Job openings, again, they're expecting these openings to reduce. So again, this week, you probably would expect dollar to start getting weaker from, start of the week. Wednesday, we're expecting ADP non-farm employment change. They're expecting this one to actually go to the upside by 4K. We might actually get a surprise in this one. Unemployment claims are actually expected to go to the upside. So again, these two might actually be canceling each other. In terms of volatility, we would expect market to give us some sort of volatility starting from Wednesday onwards, because we are expecting CPI for the chief, parliamentary elections for the GBP, and also the most important one, would be NFP for Friday. So again, as you can see, this week is going to be full of opportunities. I will be giving you all the trades that would be linked to all of these news. And again, you might actually be able to get the profits even prior to these news. But the worst case would be they keep on dragging until this news, and this news will actually hit your target. Okay. Right, that pretty much would be the fundamentals for this week. Again, I'll touch base on Wednesday, give you an update on the rest of the week's performance and also the opportunities on Wednesday. But for now, let's see what we have until Wednesday. DXY. Now, DXY, we were expecting DXY to dollar to go to the upside, tap maximum 106 level, then give us some sort of a reaction. The reaction that we are getting at the moment is a consolidation here. It probably would push up once more, tapping these two tops, but then it will not last that long. It will be coming right back down. Again, for this week, I'm not interested in the buy for the dollar. Again, short term, if you have to buy it, it will have to be just barely breaking this top. Again, it doesn't need to break the top. But because of this corrective structure, the way market has ended the structure, this could be the possibility for one more push up before markets start to drop. Because remember, this is losing momentum here, and also the seasonality will start to kick in from tonight onwards. Euro dollar also is consolidating at the moment. Again, this is just a part of this pullback here. One more push to the upside will be likely scenario. Even if market will go, as I've mentioned it to you on Wednesday, as long as or every time market is actually tapping these levels, you look for your buy setups. Even this time, if it does that, you look for a buy setup. But remember one thing, after this time, if market does not go to the upside here and then come back down to tap this box that I've drawn, get out. You don't need to, wait for the next buy setup until market gives you that. Because remember, this structure needs to tap in this zone 3 times. This is 1, 2, and the third time when it taps, it needs to push up. And if it doesn't push up, that means the bigger players are not ready yet, and they will be pushing that back to the downside before market goes to the upside. For me, I'm looking for a buy setup for now. And again, as soon as you get this pullback, that's your push to the upside, ready for the upside, which potentially would actually go and clear this gap here and even this gap as well. These two, okay? Pound dollar, similarly for the pound dollar as well. Again, every time market is going to go and tap this bottom here, look for your buy setups, and this buy should be going to test this top minimum. Aussie dollar as well. Expect a corrective structure here, which will be happening pretty much in the next 12 to 24 hours. As soon as market opens tonight, push right back up, testing this top here, and the best case scenario, testing this top as well. But this is the push to the upside happening in this week. New Zealand dollar is pretty much ready. As you remember, I did say that to you. As pound dollar has actually tapped the level, it will be tapping this level as well, which is what market has done. I was expecting market to push back up before it comes back down here, but they decided to do this before they go to the upside. Now they're heading to go and test this top here. So again, pullback would be one more push to the upside. Dollar yen is consolidating again. And as I've mentioned it to you, it is heading to test this top here last week, which is what market has done. Above the top, this is consolidating at the moment. This consolidation is going to take some more time here. And don't think it is ready to go to the downside as yet. It still has at least 200 pips from the current level. But that does not mean you go and blindly buy it from here. Because if you do that, this can start to make something like this here. Okay? It's pretty much due to make that anytime now, before it goes back up again. But if it goes to the upside without making this break to the downside, let it go. And then look for your sell setups from above 162.5 to 163. In that zone, then you should be looking for a sell. Otherwise, let the market correct to the downside before it goes back up once more to tap that level that I've just mentioned. Dollar Chief, as we were expecting market last week to complete something like this. And as you can see here, that is a pretty decent and pretty similar looking structure. All what we need is for the market to give us this push to the downside to complete this 5-wave structure. Okay. Now, again, could that simply go to the upside from here itself? It can certainly do that, but if it wants to do that, it will still give us some sort of a structure like that. Perhaps kill this zone here before it goes back up. So again, looking for a sell setup is the only way for this week for this pair. Dollar CAD was also expected to give us this pullback here from this zone below. Market has started to push to the upside, came back down, and then just messing around here. It is going to spend some more time here, break to the downside before it goes to the upside. But it is pretty much going to spend some time here, probably in the next 24 to 48 hours. You're going to get a clear structure here. Once market has given us the clear structure, then I'll explain that to you on Wednesday. But for now, if you have to trade it, I will just only be trading this one as a scalping, slowly to the upside, break to the downside. Now that was the majors. Let's have a look at other pairs. EURUCAD has started to go to the upside slowly, but that slow movement to the upside is not giving me that structure that I'm after. It is telling me that the momentum is not there yet, which means it can actually push back up, break down, test this bottom once more before markets start to go to the upside. Okay. So again, anytime market is going to test this bottom here, we should be looking for a buy setup. And again, that buy setup probably would be testing this top somewhere here from this bottom here. Euro-Oz is pretty much also ready. In the month of July, I would be expecting it to push back up here. Again, this structure is pretty much ready to go to the upside. Anytime market can start to push up, even without breaking this bottom, it can start to push up. But even if it does break this bottom, it won't last that long. It will be pushing right back up. Again, we might be expecting a very decent push to the upside in this month, but we need to wait for the big player to enter before we enter. Okay, so don't enter blindly. We need to wait for this one to actually give us the buy setup. What will be the buy setup look like? It needs to break 62, consolidate. Then only you'll be looking for a push to the upside to test this top here. Euro yen was our trade of the week. I really hope some of you have made money. If you have, make sure you, if you're still holding the trade, make sure you keep taking some partial profit. It still has some more upside, but as I've mentioned to you earlier in the dollar yen, this needs to give us a pullback first. That pullback will need one more push to the upside before markets start to come to the downside. But anytime it can start the break to the downside this week to complete this corrective structure. EURUSD also, the way market is going to the upside, it's quite slow. It's not really having the momentum that we are after. It probably would be meaning one more break to the downside, either as a corrective structure or an impulsive structure. In both the cases, downside is what we are expecting in the early part of this week. Later part, we might be able to see some bullishness, but for now, early part, it might crawl slowly to the upside here, test 6965 from this zone. If you get a sell setup, might not be a bad idea to just day trade that. Pound CAD is also making some sort of a messy structure. This is going to take some time here, doing some sort of a structure like this. Push right back down before it goes back up. This is just a bigger consolidation at the moment, okay? Pound Chief is also consolidating to the upside, but this structure is pretty much done for me. What I need to really see for the market to give me this pullback slowly to the downside. Now, if that slow movement to the downside happens before the general election, then you can expect market to start making some sort of a messy structure like that and push right back up from here. Again, in this structure, it does not need to break this bottom before it goes back up, okay? So even if it breaks this bottom here, it's just going to make the messy structure, which again, I don't want this one to do that. Other than that, you can still expect market to keep pushing to the upside. All it needs is a pullback here. That pullback would be a decent one to push right back up. Pound yen was expected to tap 203. As you remember from these levels, I mentioned that number. Market has done that. It is losing momentum. The way market is going to the upside, it is due correction now from this level. 203. Anytime it can start to push back down. Remember, it needs to tap this top once more just to make sure everybody is out before they start this corrective structure. Remember, I'm using my words very carefully here. Corrective structure is what I'm expecting here. I'm not expecting an impulsive or reversal structure. Okay. It could actually go back down in the similar way like this, or minimum similar way like this. But blindly selling from here is a suicide. Do not do that, because all of these yen alternatives do have at least 200 pips to the upside. Now, the question is either they are going to give us this 200 pips from the current levels, which means without giving us any pullback, they keep pushing to the upside. So they will be making sure anybody who's still holding, hoping that yen is going to go to the upside and yen alternatives are going to fall, they are getting taken out, and they will lose hope, and they will close their trades manually, and then the market will drop. Okay, that's always going to be the case. Remember that. Now, if you are wise enough, what you would be doing is you would be waiting for the right time to get in. What will be the right time look like? Our traders, all of these alternatives in this month of July, you're going to get a very decent drop. Now, that drop could start in the second week. That drop could start in the first, 2 days of the second week. We will see. But you need to stick to the trade strategy. Stick to the strategy 3 if you can. And if you can stick to the daily chart on that one, you are going to get a very decent setup. Okay. Pound New Zealand was expected to go to the upside, test their stop here. It went very, very close. I believe it has actually tested the top as well. If it hasn't tapped the top in your chart, it's going to tap the top anyway. Once more, let the market consolidate, push right back up, testing these two tops, and then we'll see what market has for us. Aussie Chief also consolidating. Let the market crawl slowly to the upside here. This is a likely scenario here, 605, very close to that. Let the market take this top here. Once market has done that, and if you get a sell setup, then it will be a good one to push right back down. Remember, this structure, the way market is going to the upside here, this is always happening when the market makers wants to grab the liquidity from these sort of zones here and then break down to test the liquidity below this level. Okay. So again, at the moment, it's just a corrective structure in the making for me. Unless market gives me a bigger pullback here, that changes the structure. Aussie Yen also has some more upside. Again, as I've mentioned, similar structure, similar strategy applies to this one as well. If it pulls back, gives you a slightly bigger consolidation, similar looking like this, you can expect a one more push to the upside. This pair is not ready yet. Instead, actually, in fact, all of these yen alternatives are not ready yet. Okay, they might actually be looking like they are actually extremely high or extremely low into the yen, GXY terms, but you are going to get this one in this month, that drop, but it's not there yet from this level. I cannot see this one here unless market gives you what I already said, that you stick to the daily time frame. Okay, for these ones. Aussie New Zealand is pretty much ready for a drop. Again, in this week, we'll expect market to start giving us the drop to the downside. New Zealand Chief also consolidating at the moment. It needs some more time here. It will be slowly going to the downside, pushing right back up again before markets start to drop to the downside. And then we'll see. New Zealand Yen also has been going to the upside. Again, last week we expected yen alternatives to push back up. They kept on pushing to the upside. This push to the upside still has some more momentum. It's going to do something like this here for one more push to the upside, 98.5 and above. If market gives you a sell setup, that would not be a bad idea to look for something like this. New Zealand CAD also consolidating. It is pretty much ready for me. Again, as I've mentioned to you on Wednesday, this is losing momentum, which means it's ready to go to the upside anytime. It was expected to go to the upside, but the KPI didn't come last Friday as expected. So again, market did push to the upside, but then came back down, which is pretty normal. It might actually test this bottom, but it won't last that long. It will still push right back up. CAD Yen has tested the top, which is what we were expecting last week. Again, this week, wait for the market to give you that deeper pullback. This deeper pullback needs to come again. I'm just drawing this one for you. So what you can expect from the market is something like this here. Okay. Now, this is going to be the worst case scenario. This is going to be the best case scenario in terms of the market. If market were to make some sort of a structure like this here, you're going to expect something like this. Otherwise, this is going to make a fourth wave and head over for the fifth wave. That is the only difference it's going to make. That's why for me, even though I know that this is not ready, still I'll be looking for a sell setup as soon as it's ready. Chief Yen was expected to tap very close to 180. Market has tapped 179.5 and above, and it's going to tap 180 and then start to give us some drops to the downside. CAD Chief also has been heading to the upside. Again, for me, I need to see this one consolidating to the downside. In this week, we are expecting this one to keep crawling slowly in the first few hours of the week and then start to come back down here for a pullback here minimum. Best case scenario, it can start to break down with this being an expansion and test this bottom as well. Both the scenarios indicates the downward movement first. Now that is the Forex pairs. Again, I know many of the pairs that you might be asking or you might be wanting me to look at are not included in this one, but we will be adding them onto the requested list. Don't worry about it. I will make sure you will have the update for all the Forex pairs anyway. Okay. Right. That was the Forex pairs. Let's have a look at the commodities before we actually take any more questions.